Hello children, we have grammar review again for you, but this is the second part of our grammar review. Last week we reviewed adverbs, we reviewed pronouns and singular and plural pronouns. And let's see what we're going to review today. The date is 28th April 2020 and our objectives for today's lesson are to review and comprehend usage of pronouns I and me in sentences. Then we are going to review the subject, object and possessive pronouns. So are you ready for this? Let's go ahead. Let's review subjects and predicates first. What are subjects and predicates? They are parts of the sentence. This is how we divide the sentence. There is a subject and there is a predicate part. So what is the subject? It is the person or thing that the sentence is about. This person or thing does the action in the sentence. It's the doer of the action. And then the rest of the sentence is the predicate. The predicate is the part of the sentence that talks about the subject. It contains the verb. Now look at the first example here. Benny went to the zoo. Now how do I divide the sentence? One part is the subject, that is the doer of the action, or who the sentence is about, and then the rest of the sentence would be predicate, meaning what about that subject? Let's divide the sentence. Who is the sentence about? It is about Benny, yes. So one part is the subject and the other is the predicate. Which part is the subject? It is Benny. Benny is the person we're talking about. What about him? Went to the zoo. So that is our predicate. Excellent. Now look at the second example. The children clapped their hands. The children clapped their hands. So the sentence is talking about who? The sentence is talking about the children. So we divided our sentence. One part is the subject, the other is the predicate. Which is the subject? The children. Of course, we are talking about the children. So that's the subject of our sentence. What about the predicate? Clap their hands. What did the children do? Clap their hands. That is our predicate. Now this is going to help us understand the next part of our review. We are going to move on to using I and me. Now whatever you learned about subject and predicate is going to come in real handy here. Look at the first example. When do I use I? I does the action. Like I throw the ball. Look at the image. You see the girl? She's going to throw the ball. She is the one doing the action. And where is I in the sentence? Remember your subject and predicate. Who is doing the action? I. So I, where is it coming? In the subject. Let's look at the other question here. When do I use me? We often get confused, don't we? We always think, should I use I here or should I use me? So where should we use me? Me receives the action. She threw the ball to me. The girl was throwing it and he is receiving it. So here she says, I throw the ball. And here he says, she threw the ball to me. So he's the receiver of the action. Now, which part in this sentence is the subject? She threw the ball to me. Who is doing the action? She. So she is the subject. What about the rest of the sentence, which holds the verb threw the ball to me? That's the predicate part. So, what does this make you realize? Let's move on and see if you figure it out. I is used in the subject of the sentence. So that is the rule. This is the rule you got to remember, that I is always used in the subject part of the sentence. It's the doer of the action. And me is used in the predicate of the sentence, the part which talks about the subject, and me is the receiver of the action. All right, now let's go through a few examples so it becomes really clear to you. First example is, I love my family. So where is the subject of the sentence? I. We use I as the subject of the sentence. Number 2, I am really excited to see my friends. So again, you see, I'm using I as the subject of the sentence. Number 3, I don't like spicy food. Who doesn't like spicy food? I. So I is used as the subject of the sentence. Let's look at some examples where we see where we use me. The teacher spoke to me. Now, in this sentence, where's the subject? What or who is the sentence about? The sentence is about the teacher. So our subject is the teacher. And what about the teacher? What did she do? Spoke to me. So where are we using me in the sentence? In the predicate of the sentence. We are receiving the action teacher. The subject is doing the action of speaking. And she's speaking to who? To me. Linda gave me a gift. In this sentence, what is the subject? Linda. Linda is the doer of the action. She is doing the action of giving. Linda gave me a gift. Who is receiving it? Me. And which part of the sentence is me placed in? It's placed in the predicate part. So remember, me is always used in the predicate. It is the receiver of the action. Number 3, Dad taught me how to play chess. Who is the sentence talking about? The sentence talks about Dad. And what is Dad doing? He taught me how to play chess. So subject, predicate. And where is me? In the predicate part. Me, I'm receiving the action from Dad. He's teaching and I'm learning from him. So don't forget this rule. When you talk about another person and yourself, always put the other person first. See, English grammar rules also enforce good manners here. Put others first. You always think about others before you think about yourself. So even when writing, you're going to follow this rule. When you have another person in the sentence, you put that person before yourself. Like, look at this example. When I'm using I follow the same rule. When I'm using me, I am also going to follow the same rule, putting others first. Larry and I went to school. Where is the subject? Larry and I. What did we do? Went to school. Did you see that I put I after Larry? So Larry goes first and then I put myself. Always remember to do that. Number 2, Mr. Carl and I cleaned the park. There are 2 people here. There's Mr. Carl and there's I. So I put Mr. Carl before I use I as the subject. So Mr. Carl and I cleaned the park. Where is our subject? Here, right here. Next, Cindy, Lindy and I love mango popsicles. Who loves mango popsicles? Cindy, Lindy, and I. Now there are 3 people here. Where do I place them? Before myself. I say Cindy, Lindy, and then I love mango popsicles. So put others first. Now let's look at these examples where we're using me. Mom made pancakes for James and me. Where is the subject here? Who is the sentence talking about? It's talking about Mom. What did Mom do? Made pancakes for 1 person or 2 people, James, and for me. Where did I place me? Did I say me and James? No, that would be wrong. I put James before I put myself. So James and me. Do you want to come to the circus with Pete and me? Alright, where's the subject? The sentence talks about who? It talks about you. So you is the subject. What about the subject? Do you want to come to the circus with Pete and me? How did I place Pete? Before me or after me? Before me. Pete and me. And you notice that me comes in the predicate part of the sentence. The last example, the food was too hot for kids. Katie and me. So what's the subject? The subject is the food. And what about the food? The food was too hot for Katie and me. Where did I place myself? I placed myself after Katie. I said Katie and me. So is that clear? We always put others first. Now let's put all those skills into practice. Using I and me. Read the riddle, write I or me to complete each sentence. Circle the picture that shows the answer to the riddle. Okay? So you have to guess which sentence refers to which image here. Okay? So let's read and find out whether we are going to insert I or me. Now these sheets are not from your notebook page, all right? They will be posted on Classera as an extra PDF and you can maybe download it and take a printout and solve them, or you can simply write the answers in your copybook, all right? Good. Let's go to number 1. Dash am soft and furry. So what am I going to use here? Am I going to say I am soft and furry or me am soft and furry? Which one is the correct answer? You can hear dash purr. Can I say you can hear I purr, or should I say you can hear me purr? What am I or what am me? Underline the word that completes each sentence. Write the word. Mom gave I a kitten or me a kitten. Which one is the correct answer? My kitten and I play with a feather or me play with a feather? My kitten makes I laugh or me laugh. Think about it. Don't just go with what sounds right, but think about the rules. Remember, I is used as the subject and me comes in the predicate part, the receiver of the action. And after you're done going through this, you can cross-check your answers. All right? There is the answer key right here and you can cross-check all your answers. Now let's move on and go and understand all about pronouns. We did this last week, so this is going to be pretty simple for you to understand. Remember the pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. What are pronouns? Pronouns take the place of a noun. Nouns are naming words, names of people, places, things, animals, and pronouns take the place of a noun. Why do they do that? Why do they push away the noun and take the place? Because we don't want to repeat the noun over and over again, so we use a pronoun. We use them to avoid repetition. We also learned earlier different kinds of pronouns. What are they? Let's review. A subject pronoun. What's a subject pronoun? We've been talking about subjects so often now. Now you should know what I mean when I say a subject. A subject pronoun takes the place of a noun as the subject of the sentence. It does the action. So, the subject pronoun will take the place of the noun as the subject of the sentence. It does the action, the doer of the action. And look at this example sentence here. Judy, Rio, Ali, Lynn, and I heard a story today. Now, if I have to replace all these nouns, what will I use instead? What is the subject of the sentence? Judy, Rio, Ali, Lynn, and I. The sentence is talking about who? These people. So, that's our subject. Now, we want to replace this with a pronoun. So, I will say, we heard a new story today. Instead of saying all those names, I replace it with a pronoun. I say we. Now, when we replace the nouns, which part of the sentence was that? The subject part. So, we is a subject pronoun. It takes the place of a noun as the subject of the sentence. Got that? Wow, good. Next, what's an object pronoun? An object pronoun receives the action in the sentence. It's the receiver of the action. You will find it in the predicate of the sentence. So if you spot a pronoun in the predicate part of the sentence, it is the object pronoun. Now look at this example. The teacher read it for Judy, Rio, Ali, Lynn, and me. Remember the earlier sentence? We heard a new story today. Yes. Now, who read the story to them? The teacher read it for Judy, Rio, Ali, Lynn, and me. Look at these nouns, so many of them, and then there's me. Now I have to replace this with a pronoun. What part of the sentence is this? Is it the subject part or the predicate part? It is the predicate because what's the subject? The teacher. So now let's replace it with a pronoun. The teacher read it for us. So where is our object pronoun? Right here, us. It comes in the predicate part of the sentence. And who's the subject? The teacher. All right, let's go to the last kind of pronoun, a possessive pronoun. Now, what's a possessive pronoun? A possessive pronoun, just like the name, possessive, meaning something about belonging. So a possessive pronoun will show ownership. That means something belongs to you or somebody else. Possessive pronoun is used to show ownership. It can be in the subject or the predicate of a sentence. So now possessive pronouns will be anywhere, either in the subject or in the predicate, but they're used to show ownership. Now look at this example right here. This bag is my bag, not your bag. All right. Now how many times am I repeating the word, the noun bag? I'm saying this bag is my bag, not your bag. You see, it's repeated twice and we don't want to repeat. So we have to use a pronoun here. But the pronoun has to show possession. It has to show that this is my bag and not your bag. So what is the pronoun we can use here? I can say, this bag is mine, not yours. You see, instead of saying my bag, I said mine. And instead of saying your bag, I said yours. So these words show who the bag belongs to, mine and not yours. Now let's go ahead and see some words and pronouns which can be classified as subject, object, and possessive. Here, subject pronouns. What are our subject pronouns? They always come in the subject part of the sentence. I, you, he, she, it, they, we. I love ice cream. You went to the park. He loves to read. She throws the ball at me. It was on the table. They told me a story. We watched a movie. All right, you see, all these pronouns, I use them to replace a subject. That means they are subject pronouns because subject pronouns replace a noun in the subject. Look at the next set. Object pronouns. Me, you, him, her, it, them, and us. Object pronouns come in the predicate part of the sentence. The teacher told me a story. Now look at you. You is used as a subject pronoun and also as an object pronoun. I can use you in the subject part. You are very naughty. And I can use you as an object pronoun. I told you to be nice. So you is coming in the predicate part. Look at him, her, it, them, and us. All of these pronouns are used in the predicate part of the sentence. They receive the action. Possessive pronouns, just like this lamb belongs to Peter Pan, the same way possessive pronouns talk about ownership. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. All these are possessive pronouns. Like you heard in the sentence before, remember when we were discussing possessive pronouns? This bag is mine to show that it belongs to me. That is yours. This is his, hers, ours, theirs. All these pronouns, they show possession, they show ownership. Let's move on and see if we can put these skills to practice, whether you can identify the subject pronouns, the object pronouns, and the possessive pronouns. Let's practice. Identify whether the pronoun is subject, object, or possessive pronoun. Danny loves comic books. These books are for him. These books are for him. So him, is it subject pronoun, object pronoun, or possessive? What kind of pronoun is this? Did you figure that out? Object pronoun. It is the receiver of the action, so it is the object pronoun. She went to the supermarket for groceries. Now, where are we using she in the sentence? Is it in the subject part or the predicate part? It's in the subject part. So, she is a subject pronoun. Excellent. Lena sent me an email yesterday. Where am I using me? I'm using me in the predicate part. So, me is the object pronoun. Amazing. Is this phone yours? Look at this carefully. Is it in the subject or in the predicate part? It's in the predicate part. Now tell me, is it showing ownership? Think about it. Yes, it does. So it's a possessive pronoun. You are such a brilliant student. So you is used in the subject part. So what kind of a pronoun is it? It is a subject pronoun. Excellent. Look at the last example. This house belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Jones. It is theirs. Now, does theirs show ownership? Which part of the sentence does it fall in? In the subject or in the predicate part? It's in the predicate part and it shows ownership. So, possessive pronoun. Excellent, children. Let's move on. Let's practice a bit with Pirate Parrot. Draw lines to match the underlined words to the pronouns. My friends and I do many fun things. Now we have to match the noun with the correct pronoun. So which pronoun can replace my friends and I? I'm including myself. Tony climbs high rocks. Which pronoun can replace Tony? Her, we, or he? Haley taught Lisa weaving. Which pronoun can I use in place of Lisa? Write the pronoun from the box that can take the place of the underlined words. What do we have in a box? Us, they, it. And which pronoun can replace Josh and Tina? Josh and Tina build terrific sandcastles. Now I have to replace these nouns. Which one should I use? Joe's drew a poster. Which pronoun do I use instead of poster? Dan helped Angela and me ski. So which pronoun am I going to be using? Think about it. Once you're done with this, you can easily cross-check your answers from the next slide. And these practice sheets you will find in a PDF uploaded on Classera. So don't forget to go and check that out. If you don't want to do that, you can easily just write the answers in your copybooks. Let's go. These are the answers. Cross-check and give yourself a star. Now, let's move on. Let's see what we have here. We have some helpful videos. One talks about the pronouns and one talks about using I and me. All right, go ahead and watch those. What are our activities? Do the grammar review assignment on Classera and watch the assigned videos that you just saw. Okay? Thank you so much. Goodbye from Peter Pan and from me. All right, see you again with another lesson another time. Bye-bye.